Good morning, and welcome to Building the Ideal Omnichannel Contact Center. My name is Sam Merrill.
Hey everyone, I'm Dave Esper.
And today we are going to first kick it off by going over the agenda. We're going to go over how we got to this point, the Omni point. We are here in the history of telecom. Next, we'll talk about customer experience, right? Providing a great customer experience and why that is important. After that, we'll see how the Appian Intelligent Contact Center and other omni-channel capabilities of Appian can provide those great customer experiences. And then we'll kick it over to Twilio to see the cool things they're doing, their new APIs. We'll hear from Dave. After that, we'll go over a recap and next steps. So how did we get here? Omni, the Omni-Channel Contact Center. Before I get into that and the history around that, I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Before Appian, I was a full-stack .NET web developer working on banking and mobile applications in the e-commerce space. I was building e-wallet applications, mobile applications, and Appian all of a sudden popped on my radar. What is this low-code, no-code development platform? 8 weeks guaranteed? I thought it was vaporware, right? Most of my projects were two-year ordeals, right? And they weren't anywhere near enterprise grade ready. So I started doing more research into Appian, and I found out that, hey, the software's legit. They have a big company, growing company base. Why not check it out? So I came to the realization, if Matt's inverse Moore's law is true, right? If the idea that every 2 years, the amount of time it takes to develop a software application will be cut in half, then why would a CEO ever hire an engineering staff again? Why would that take place? If one day a CEO has the capabilities to just speak an app into existence, he's in his office, legs kicked up on his mahogany table, and basically speak an app into existence, why would he ever hire an engineering staff? So I got insecure about my job, and I joined Appian. And I've never been happier developing on Appian. It's the free power that really got me, right? It's the fact that I don't have to deal with an application server. I don't have to deal with multi-user authentication. I can just simply focus on the business logic, the more creative aspects of my job, and build out interfaces, and it's really been great. So I joined, and the one thing that happened when I joined Appian is it opened my eyes to the disruption and the transformation going on in the contact center space. There's a paradigm shift, right? Those of you, the two words, disruption and transformations, those kept popping up into my life, right? My life was changing. My life was being disrupted. As an application developer, I had a paradigm shift myself, right? I was not, those words, disruption, transformation, it was a paradigm shift for myself because as an application developer, I had to think in terms of low code. I had to think differently. So they blended together and one image came to mind. It was the monolith. And those of you who are familiar with Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey, you recognize what this entails, right? It was that moment when some outside force, some intelligent, some sort of extraterrestrial species put this black crystalline object in front of a group of apes, and it sparked intelligence into those apes, right? It disrupted the group of apes, and it transformed the way they thought about the reality. The next scene, right, you see them with a bone in their hand, and they're using it as a tool, right? They have discovered how to make and create because this monolith sparked that intelligence, right? So you see them beating an animal, and they use that tool. And then the next scene is they're using those tools to go to war with each other. And man has never stopped inventing after that point. If that was the moment, the impetus of creative intelligence, it's been a timeline in histories ever since. So I like to relate that history, that historical timeline, to the communications in history, the telecom industry, the contact center, right? How we got to where we're going. So there was a hydraulic telegraph in the 4th century BC. Then we had a semaphore telegraph. We had Claude Chappé. He lined all of France, 3,000 miles, with these big stone tower beacons, and they would communicate by semaphore, right? They would relay messages from 20 miles apart down to the next one, and they would relay important messages to the kings, the generals, like, hey, ships are coming into port. And it was just basically a long line of telephone. Next, we had the electrical telegraph, right? We're now communicating through electricity. That's insane, right? First phone call, and then the iPhone. It all came together, right? Steve Jobs, right? We had the internet, we had ARPANET, we had the internet, and then after that, the web browser, we had Mosaic, right? We had the BlackBerry, and then the iPod. And then Steve Jobs thought, hey, let's converge the music, the phone, and the internet all in one device. And when that happened, if you notice that monolith picture that I showed, there was a Apple logo on that black object. I think what the monolith did to those apes that sparked that intelligence to go on and create, Steve Jobs did with the iPhone to the contact center that's caused the need for omni-channel solutions. So where we're headed, the disruption's not going to stop. The disruption, the transformation is going to keep on happening. You've seen the headlines. Are you guys ready for global internet, right? Satellite internet is here. The FCC has approved Elon's plan. Just imagine these underdeveloped countries. The least developed country will have the same internet connection, the same internet speed as the heart of New York City. That's amazing. Just imagine the genius per capita rate is going to go up tenfold. And with more geniuses out there, with more people that are willing to push the boundaries, invent, push the boundaries like these visionaries do, the more disruption is going to be in store. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dave.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Well, I want to tell you about a house guest that I've had for the last few years. And it probably looks like something that's sitting on your kitchen counter or in your bathroom or your bedroom. And that's Amazon Alexa. Voice assistants like Alexa and Google Assistant are sweeping across homes all over the world, to the point of 2.5 billion active units today. Analysts expect that we'll see about 8.3 billion by 2023. And there's a reason that we're seeing numbers like that. And it's because Alexa is delivering what we haven't actually seen in common contact centers or customer support. So we wanted to dive a little bit into what that house guest is doing for customer support or for users that we maybe aren't achieving today in terms of our contact centers or customer engagement. And so there are a few things that really stand out in terms of that contact center or customer experience that Alexa is doing for customers. Alexa is delivering personalization, contextualization, and omnichannel. And so when you think about your own lives and how I use my Google Home every morning, there are a few ways that this is really being delivered. In terms of personalization, I walk into my bedroom and I say, okay, Google, how long is it going to take to get to work today? And Google's doing a few things. It's using voice printing to understand who I am, and then it's taking data that it's learned over time. Things like, I live on 17th Street in San Francisco, and my work address is 375 Beale Street. So it's going to give me that information, and it's going to give it in real time. But more important than just recognizing who I am and my data, it's actually taking that and putting it into context. It knows that I live in San Francisco, and I'm not going to drive to work. And so it's using my maps data to understand that I'm probably going to take Muni. And it tells me the next N train will be arriving in 5 minutes at Carl and Cole. That's my closest stop. And the last piece that Alexa is delivering is it's extending across platforms. Everything from the show to the app that we're using to Dot. All of those have the same intelligence, the same contextualization and personalization, and it's doing that seamlessly and intelligently. So compare that to the last time you called, insert your own contact center here. Probably wasn't the same experience. It was probably pretty challenging to navigate. It required repeating yourself numerous times, and it looked nothing like this. The challenge that we're seeing is as more and more of these experiences are coming across in the voice space, you look at customer experience, and those experiences aren't matching. This is what we call the communications divide. And we put a study into the field to really look at what that might look like in a modern contact center. So I wanted to just talk through Alexa in terms of a contact center experience. When you think about personalization, You already have an ERP or a CRM or some type of database that leverages unique identifiers and personal information. So if I were to call into a contact center and think about personalization, the contact center might say, "Hi Jane, thanks for calling today. We appreciate your loyalty as a gold member." It's taking two important pieces. It's taking my phone number, understanding the name, and also some important data about me. We think of that as table stakes. The next piece, contextualization. We are collecting millions of data points on every user, and by and large, we're doing that with a unique identifier, maybe behind a login, in an app, on a web page. And so customers expect that we're connecting all of that data. So in this case, Jane was trying to fill a claim online, ran into some issues. And then the next contact we have with Jane, she calls into our contact center. So the digital assistant recognizes her name, an important piece about her, maybe escalates the claim as a gold member, and then recognizes that she attempted to complete a claim. This is self-service. We ask if she needs help finishing that, and maybe work through the next steps. Say it's a zip code. And the last piece of that, omnichannel, and this is perhaps the most challenging part, is finishing that claim. So the digital assistant might say, "Okay, got all the information I needed. I'm going to send you a text message with a unique DocuSign link." And we can do that programmatically. So that would be how you would take that Alexa experience and migrate that into your contact center. Like I said, we've been thinking about the challenges of that as the communications divide. And we put a study in the field a few years ago looking at how customers reacted to communication experiences and how businesses thought of them. 8 in 10 customers said they have challenges communicating with businesses, and only about 3 in 4 businesses, or 3 in 10 rather, recognize those challenges. That is the communications divide. Customers are telling us that they are having challenges reaching us or reaching out or interacting with us in the ways that we want to, and we don't really know how to move forward. Just looking at the numbers, it's not a great picture. But there are also some costs and some benefits to really thinking deeply about this problem. It's costing us. And so then that same survey, we looked at consumer preferences and what they're doing based on those good or bad experiences. About 2/3 told their friend about a negative experience, 41% stopped doing business altogether, and about 40% switched to a competitor or canceled services. We all know it's much harder to acquire a user or a customer than it is to retain them. And so we want to make sure that we're retaining our customers once we get them. On the flip side, there are actually really good business impacts when you create a positive experience. So after a good communication experience, 71% told their friend, free marketing. 67% purchased more products or services, increased revenue. And about 50% wrote a positive review. More free marketing, but it's digital, lasts forever. And it's not just these points that contribute to a positive customer journey. It also has a real ROI impact. And so what we found is that companies, the leaders with good communication experiences, are actually 2.6 times more likely to have revenue growth of 15% or more. This is clearly a key upside to delivering that omnichannel experience. And so I'm going to turn it over to Sam to talk a little bit about the next steps.
All right, thanks, Dave. So you guys have heard the quotes, right? Call center has morphed into a customer engagement center, right? Forrester, the revenue impact of 1 point improvement in CX index scores can help a company increase revenue by $175 million annually. Seen all this research, right? This is how Appian is going to solve it, the Appian Intelligent Contact Center. We're going to walk through these 3 points. It's a unified customer view we offer, universal agents with omnichannel communications. So, you've seen this demo probably a lot now at Appian World, right? You've seen this screen. This is an agent dashboard. When we talk about a unified customer view, what are we talking about? We are talking about bubbling up all of your data in one single pane of glass. So you're not tab switching, right? All of it is in one place, unified. Universal agents, you are empowering your agents with AI, action responses, right? You are prompting them for their next best action. It helps the agent be empowered, and what that does is it reduces their workload, it reduces the time they have to think about menial tasks, so they can focus on more creative solutions to your customer's problem, right? It's that agent empowerment. And finally, omnichannel communications. You see at the top left there, that is all powered by embedded Twilio, right? That handles our VoIP and our SMS chat. We'll talk about all 3 of these things in more detail. So the unified customer view, I already mentioned, this is Appian records technology, right? So I don't care where you house your data. You can keep it in Appian, keep it outside of Appian. Wherever you want your data, we'll sit on top of it and feed it in, or we'll just give it to you. And wherever you want it, we will show that data to you. So you can see these SaaS solutions, right? We'll bring them all in through our records technology. And once you have that data, you build out an interface and you have this unified customer view, right? You start tracking your customers through the different channels, and it becomes this experience that's that one single pane of glass. Universal agents, right? Take a look at this interface again and notice the different colors. We have the people section on the left. We have the process sections in the top and on the right-hand side, top and bottom, and in the middle, it's our data, right? People, right? People, they connect. The people point, it connects to your agents not only with your customers or an agent-bot handoff, but it also connects your customer with the other people in your organization, right? Their colleagues. So let's take a look at some of this direct transfer technology we have in Appian, powered by Twilio. We're accepting an incoming call. This agent can see the customer, and they might want to do a consultation. So they go into premium support, they consult, they get their answer, back to caller. Oh yeah, I got an answer for you. And I need Brad to handle this specific case. So she'll directly look up her colleague, switch over to Brad. Brad's now in on the call. Great, empowering your agents with people, right? Real-time guidance, right? This is another thing that empowers the people side of this, right? Maybe process. Process people, this is process. So real-time guidance, this is your processes, right? In Appian, you have a bunch of different business processes. When you start manipulating those processes with AI, right, you have this prompter up at the top right? You can run natural language processing in that live chat. Those SMS chats are coming in, those messages are coming in, we're running NLP on that, and then we are giving the agent the best response pre-filled to communicate back to the customer, right? This again is helping that agent. While he's doing this, while he knows this NLP is being run, he can do other things. He can look at this customer case. He can start being creative, coming up with a solution, right? You're now taking your customer service agents from just call center agents to almost solution consultants, and that's very powerful. That's a very, very powerful business prospect. And finally, my favorite part is the data part of all this, right? Use record data creatively. So we've qualified the customer. We have it all in our unified view. We're connected to people. We got processes going on. What about the data? We now know, hey, Miss Sanchez, she's a gold tier customer. She's X amount of years old. Her occupation is compensation analysis, and boom, FICO score. Let's run that data through a recommendation engine and spit out the best possible products for her. We'll tailor that for her. And mind you, this is all being run for you, right? So your agents are still coming up with those creative solutions, still thinking. Maybe your agents are providing feedback on the process to your engineers, right? And they become QA as well. So there's infinite possibilities with this data center. So we've gotten to Omni, right? There was the three, the unified, the universal, now we're at Omni. So I would like to show you some Omnichannel examples from the Appian Intelligent Contact Center, right? So I'm going to set this up. This is a virtual personal assistant example. We have a customer calling in using Siri on the phone. That call, he gets an IVR response back from Siri. He gets a little frustrated. The call is then handed off to a live agent on the Appian platform, and the agent will pick it up from there.
So call ICC on speakerphone.
Calling ICC. Mobile on speaker.
Hi, my name is Christoph. I am an intelligent virtual agent here to help you. Am I talking to Stephen Phillips?
Yes.
Welcome, Stephen. For security purposes, can I have your birthday, please?
October 16th, 1963.
Can I have the last 4 digits of your social security number, please?
8416.
What is the last 4 digits of your credit card number?
6495.
How may I help you? You can say, check my balance, check my credit limit, check my interest rate, or transfer to an agent.
What is my credit limit?
Your account credit limit is $22,600. 619.
What is my interest rate?
Your account interest rate is 10.54%.
What is my account balance?
Your account balance is 4,234.
I'm feeling very frustrated right now.
All right, so that was a key word, scripted, right? Frustrated, right?
Transferring to an
handoff.
agent.
Here's the agent handoff part. So there you go, right? Right in, you already have the customer's data. It's the seamless part of the omnichannel experience, right? That's what differentiates multi and omni, right? You can provide all the channels you want with multi, but how are you connecting them? This is that connection, right? That seamless handoff, where now the agent has all Mr. Phillips' data, gets all those recommendations, you can see the whole history of the past conversations, and then goes on to make the intelligent decision with him. So this is the SMS version of this whole process, right? We're communicating with Christoph again through SMS. This is another channel, right? And as soon as you see him trigger the agent handoff script again, and that can be whatever you guys want, you'll see it go back and route to the agent in that same way. So let's take a look. And this is obviously faster than IVR. This is my preferred method of communication at this point in my life. I don't got the time. Boom, there's that trigger, right? We're right in it. And it's the same ordeal, right? Unified customer view, universal agents, and Omni. And that is that Omni aspect, right? Seamless. So just remember, that's the differentiator between multi and Omni. Offer all those channels, but what makes it Omni is that seamless, that connecting it all together, that circle I started on. And then, there's your processes, right? Your data. You got interactive SMS right here for the agent. You got dynamically refreshing screens. And then this is a total case management solution, right? This is the bread and butter of Appian. This is why we are mixing these omni-channel capabilities in with Appian. That's why it's such a valuable proposition, because we are the #1 case management solution out there. You just saw him resolve a service request in less than a minute, right? This is fast, easy stuff, right? Or 2 minutes and 59 seconds, whatever that counter's saying. But it's quick, right? It's faster than most other things. And it's powerful. So I think this is going to go ahead and wrap up these two demonstrations. What you've seen a lot over the last couple days is the same basic ICC screen, right? And it's beautiful. And this is the ICC solution, okay? This is that pre-solution. What Matt talked about is Keynote. You would use this if you wanted to start closer to the finish line. But how about if you just wanted to bring in a couple channels today, right? You go home next week, give yourself a break, start development next week, right? Let's say you wanted to go home, you're hyped up from this event, and you just have a simple case management system that you want to bring one channel in just to test it out. So let me show you what I put together to illustrate just that. This is a co-browsing, co-video screen share demonstration. And this is an external site. It's a customer-facing site. That customer's logged in. He sees his order status, and look at that. He started a co-browse session. That kicked off a task in Appian. The most available agent picked up the task. This is looking like bread and butter Appian, right? That agent got assigned the task, and now she saw that live customer. She clicked the co-browse, and here you go.
I see you're calling from Sculptor Bank. Is this about order AY78HBX6?
Oh yeah, that's right, and it's April, I see.
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So how can I help you with this order today?
Oh, yeah, I just had a purchase order that there's a printer that was accidentally ordered. I need to have it removed from the order.
All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and you can just tell me which of these items to remove here.
That's pretty convenient. Yeah, it's that Brother Laser, the one at the end.
Okay. All right. Your order has been updated. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Oh, amazing. No, I just got the push notification, and wow, yeah, that's gone. You've been awesome. How did you do that so fast?
Power of Appian.
Amazing. All right. Well, thanks again, April.
All right, have a good one.
Seamless stuff, right? So that was a Temesis co-browsing component is also available in the app market today. I briefly want to mention social channels, right? So like if we have connectors on the Appian app market as well for feeding in your whatever kind of social media that is out there, right? So you can start putting listeners out there for these different social apps, right? If your @ handle gets mentioned, hashtag of your company gets mentioned, you put up a process that's actually listening for that, right? Now just start thinking about what you would do next. You kick off a task. You would, once that mention happens, you route in the message of what that social user was frustrated about. You assign it to the proper queue. Your Appian agent picks it up and resolves it through whatever measures they would need. So that's all possible in Appian 2. Like that's the whole, hey, you don't want your company's bad press going viral. Like think United Airlines, right? So this is all possible in Appian 2. This is just another channel that you have to be thinking about. And Twilio actually provides great APIs around the social channels as well. Okay, so last but not least, I'm gonna just show you a quick little GIF of embedded Twilio, right? SMS and embedded telephony, that's all powered by Twilio in the Appian ICC. You heard Matt's announcement. It's embedded, comes with the product now. And you can see how it orchestrates this whole process, right? The VoIP and the SMS chat, it's all facilitated by Twilio. So I'm going to kick it back over to Dave so he's going to tell you some cool things that going on at that company.
Awesome. Well, thanks. And we really are thrilled to be powering the ICC. You know, our goal is to help power the future of communications. And we really are passionate about ensuring that agents are able to deliver outstanding communication experiences. And that's what this does, is it allows us to help customers, help Appian users deliver seamless communication across channels. And I wanted to bring this up. And it's a little bit of a continuation of the Omnichannel story that Sam told. And it traces interactions or B2C interactions over time, right? We started with in-person and we've made it all the way through Facebook Messenger, Lime, RCS, Apple Business Chat, and WhatsApp for Business. And if some of these don't look familiar, that's probably not surprising because they come across each and every week, right? We see a new channel pop up practically. And so what we want to make sure is that it's not just about being everywhere. That would be pretty challenging. And to be able to reach across every single channel seamlessly is really hard to do. We actually think that it's not just about being everywhere. It's really about being in that right place. And so we put another study in the field looking at customer preferences and authenticity. And this is a first look at this data. Practically no one else has seen this. But what we were looking at for global customers across generations is what are your preferences for interacting with businesses and how are businesses actually interacting with you? By and large, we see that customers like email and we're probably delivering on that. But there are a few standouts. Phone calls. We tend to overuse phone calls. And as Sam mentioned, sometimes it's much easier just to deliver that through self-service. We're also probably under-delivering on in-app chat, web chat, and native applications. So this is something we should be thinking about, is delivering on those customer preferences and making sure that we're personalizing those experiences based on what our customers are telling us. The problem is it's really hard to get there. And for most companies, legacy technology is what's holding us back. Legacy technology takes a few forms. And so for most individuals, when you're looking at a telco solution or a communication solution, you kind of have two options. You have the build, you have the buy, and a lot of that build looks like legacy telco. And what that amounts to are experts, applications, telco hardware, and networks. And what we've found over the years working with over 150,000 customers is that there are some challenges that crop up with experts who have limited skill sets, applications that are inflexible, telco hardware that's incredibly expensive, and by the time you've implemented the newest set of hardware, it's probably antiquated at that point. And then networks that are slow. So the response for many businesses, enterprises, and organizations is to buy, to add on a patchwork of SaaS solutions to deliver point solution. Marymaker's 2017 report found the average enterprise is leveraging 524 SaaS products. So you have, on one hand, these huge monolithic legacy telco systems, and then you also have this patchwork of SaaS products. It's no wonder that we don't have a complete or a full view of our customer. And so that's why we're really excited to partner with Appian and deliver that through the ICC. This is where Twilio comes in. So Twilio is the leading cloud communications platform. And what we deliver for our customers is effectively this. It starts with a super network, which is a global network of tier 1 carriers. And that's people, processes, and networks that allow us to deliver connectivity around the world. It's a series of channel APIs, some of which I work on closely, those messaging APIs, things like SMS, the WhatsApp Business API, Messenger, and things like chat and video. And above that, we add a layer of intelligence and services, things that allow your developers to deploy with just a few lines of code, things that would take 6-7 months to develop in-house, and then to have to maintain. And above all of that are the solutions, things like Flex and marketing campaigns. And because we were a developer-first company, it's all backed by things like Studio, Sync, and a full set of rich libraries. What we want to make sure is that we're delivering the channels that customers want to be reached on. Think back to that consumer preference survey. And we're doing that in a way that is easy to implement and integrate. What we're seeing is that we are at another inflection point in terms of what that customer support looks like. So over here, you have something we've probably received quite a bit recently. It's an order notification from Nordstrom, and it came as a text. And they said, hey, your order's been shipped. Don't worry about it. And this was probably programmatically delivered. But what we're seeing as each of those new channels come on, it's increased challenge and increased difficulty to be sure that we are everywhere our customers are. In the not so distant future, you might be interacting on WhatsApp for Business. What WhatsApp delivers are verified profiles, rich messaging, and they do it on a platform that's used by over 1.6 billion users each and every month. WhatsApp for Business has also seen increased engagement, increased retention, and increased open over SMS, which already sees open rates of about 95% and engagement rates of 45%. But it's not going to stop there. We're seeing this same timeline continue, but we're seeing it at an increased rate than ever before. And the next and not so distant future is something like RCS. And what RCS delivers are rich media. It delivers quick replies, scheduling, and it's all done programmatically. And that's what Twilio is focused on, is ensuring that when the next development comes about, you can easily integrate that into whatever system you're using and build out software that delivers that customer engagement. So we want to talk a little bit about what comes next and what you might be able to do to explore that a little bit more. Of course, you can check out Twilio and Appian to learn a little bit more about both of our solutions, the Intelligent Contact Center and Twilio APIs, but also some of our connected systems and components on the Appian marketplace. The other thing I want to invite you to do is to text this number, 415-236-9469. It wouldn't be Twilio if we didn't build an app. So I built a quick little chatbot. So if you want to get some additional resources, learn a little bit more about how Alexa is really transforming communications and customer experience, you can check that out with a few more resources. But we really are excited to partner with Appian for the Intelligent Contact Center and to be able to deliver that future-proof contact center through those channels that we're offering.
Okay, thanks, Dave. So, Dave mentioned something that actually, he mentioned email, and I feel like email doesn't get any love, right? So before I go in and you guys with a little quick demo about how you could easily kick up a process to handle email communication, inbound email communication to your business's applications, let me first mention that we are hosting the Appian CX Summit. That's Tuesday, October 1st, 2019. So registration, I think, is open now. Come in, learn some more use cases, how businesses are, putting this use case, these solutions into their own platforms. It'll be a great summit. But let me show you this demo, right? So we have. Just to end with a nice little email, because email never gets any love. We're going down. You can see we are on the Appian World FAQ page, right? We're going down to the contact page, right? This particular user doesn't know where the conference is taking place, even though you guys just saw it's in San Diego. So we're going to submit that, and that's going to kick off. Oh, wait a minute. That was quick. I already got my answer back. How was that even possible? I thought I was supposed to kick off an Appian process, like I had to sign to an agent. The agent's got to pick that up, respond to the guy, and carry on. But no, he already got that back. And there's the answer, the Hilton San Diego Bayfront Inn. How did that happen? Well, if you look at the process, this is a blending of chatbot technology, Microsoft Q&A Maker. Twilio has something just like this with Autopilot. You can bring these now in with our integration SDK, right? This is also a dev jam, so it's a call to developers to start. This platform, Appian, is so open right now. Start developing. But I bring this in as a connected system. I make a service request. I make a request out to Azure Q&A Maker. It gives me back, I send it the customer's answer, the question, it gets back an answer. And you see this check confidence rule right here. This is going to determine if the answer met a certain criteria, then we can send it right back to the customer. If the score was above X amount, then send that answer right back because we're trusting this bot to communicate with the customer on our behalf. We don't get an agent involved. So if you come in and look at the process, you can see we get back from that response from Azure, a score, and that score is what we're using to guide that logic to finish out that process. And this is just a little call. You can see the score coming in. Now, the next case is where we're going to involve the agent. He asks a question, where's the best Mexican food in town? The bot doesn't know, right? Or at least his answer isn't good enough. So an agent gets a task. That agent picks up the task. Customer needs answer. He's met with a beautiful form. Look at all that pre-qualification there on the left. We enter in our answer. The answer is, of course, what is he going to say? Puesto at the headquarters. And this is our rich text editor that is shipped with 19.2, so you can actually go ahead and link that up, help the guy out a little bit, point him in the right direction, and boom, send it right back to him. He gets it, views it, loves it, wants it, done. So look at that power. That looked more like maybe your business's applications, right? You can do this stuff today. There's we gotta wait, we might have to consider getting the ICC. The ICC is great. You should get it if you're way behind. But if you're already pretty much there, then just start building in channels. Just start developing. And it's my call to you as developers, go out, build, be creative on the Appian platform. There's never been a better time. It's open for development. Check out the integration SDK. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the event.
Awesome. Thanks.